young quarterback, and it's really his first road night game.
Oh, no question. Just a competitor. And just watching him throughout the course of the week, I thought, as we finished up the week of practice, man, he was throwing the ball great, throwing and catching. We knew obviously there was going to be some challenges with the wind and the cold, but watching him warm up and just the eye of the tiger that he'd had, and watching how everybody had the mentality to come out and play regardless of the conditions, so really, really proud of him. And each week he gets better, and he continues to do a lot of things that the average fan may not recognize. He changed the protection there on the throw to rim throw. He re-slid it to where he thought the pressure was coming from. So each week he just continues to grasp more and more of the play, and he goes out and performs.
Good, Scott. Another big game for Amari. How good was it to see him finally break one for a touchdown?
Yeah, it was great to see. Especially to bounce back. After the tough play earlier on the other punt return. That's something that we talk about all the time. Hey, bad things are going to happen. How are you going to respond? And great players go back and make up for it. Even though I think it's a very difficult situation for him to be in on the one he lost, but he wanted to go back and get one. And he's been working really hard in practice, and it was great. I think it was awesome. The defense was out there getting those blocks. I heard there were some nice blocks. I was watching him the whole time. But I think that's great because we want to be explosive, not just on offense, but also in our kicking game on special teams, and I don't think that'll be our last.
For either of you guys, what did they do to kind of keep you off balance in the red zone?
They changed up. Going into it, we had saw some different things. They had an arsenal of things they were going to do. Sometimes they brought zero pressure versus certain personnel groupings. Then they have a particular blitz that they used a lot this night that they didn't do versus 11 personnel, our base set. So it took us a little while, and a couple of times we had a good call. We just didn't execute. So early on, we would like to have gotten touchdowns there, but we were able to come away with points. But the biggest thing is we tried to run the ball a little bit, and then obviously we ran it into some of their pressures where they had us outnumbered. And then when it was throwing situations, obviously they dropped in and had guys in the spots where we were trying to throw the ball.
Jackson Carman came up big when you really needed him when Mitch went out.
Yeah, I think the way we've been able to play a lot of guys this year. I mean, that's another prime example. You're on the road in a big time game in a great setting. And there wasn't any of us that were worried when he went in because he's played a lot of ball for us already this year, and it was great for him to go in and be able to execute. And then one thing I'd say on Trevor, some of his best decisions were some of his throwaways because they did disguise some of the coverage and ran some different things maybe than we were expecting, and trying to bait him into throwing some interceptions. But he processed it very well and. Kept us where we could at least get a field goal and not turn the ball over in a critical situation.
You guys started Gage tonight. What was the thought process there, bringing him out again to start?
The biggest thing is coach is going to reward those guys off of performance, and he's been playing well, and everything counts in practice. And just when Coach Caldwell made a decision, he said Gage had the better week of practice, and that's why he went with Gage. And it's like that every week, just at every position.
You guys mentioned them switching it up. I mean, third down, was that similar to, because they seem to have some success against you guys on third down?
Yeah, you look at them in the red zone. They're one of the best teams in the country defending in the red zone. I think they're top 15, maybe ranked 12th. And then what they did is they changed it up. They started using some of their boundary pressures with their corner off schedule. Obviously, we were preparing to see that in a little bit longer yardage situations, and they brought that out. That was one of the first third down calls that they had. And then what you saw they were doing as well is they were showing pressure. Giving us an indication that they had pressure, and then they were dropping guys and they were playing some invert coverages, which is very, very difficult for any quarterback to see, and for Trevor to be able to change some of the protections and go where we needed to go with the ball. And then we left some third downs out there we just didn't execute. Obviously, we had one on the draw. We had a good call there. We started to slide a little bit early. Obviously, the numbers might have looked a little bit better, but very, very proud of just his composure to stay calm while we figured it out. And so you got to tip your hat to them because they were committed to stopping the run. And then once we had to throw the ball, they were trying to confuse the young quarterback. And they also started bringing some pressures unscheduled on first and second down, especially early in the game, which was different than what they showed statistically coming in.
Coach Elliott, when the offense isn't clicking on all cylinders, how much of a luxury is it to have that defense? Didn't allow a single point tonight. How much freedom does that give you as a play caller?
No question, but I think we came out the gate. I was proud of the way we started. We go right down the field. Obviously, we didn't end with a touchdown, but we went right down the field. We're very explosive, and we had some plays down the field. We make a couple of those plays in the in the first half, and then obviously we're putting a lot of pressure on them. When you got a defense like that you know's got your back, that's going to be able to get some stops until you can figure it out. Because we did have to play some cat and mouse early, especially on third down, to try and figure out what he was doing. And once we got settled in, We came right out the second half and we challenged them in the locker room to come out and go score points. We went right down the field, and then we just kind of got into a lull there and tried to establish the running game. And obviously the numbers, looking down, Travis still averaged 7.1. Doesn't quite feel like it, but again, we were staying on schedule, and then we had a couple negative plays, and we'll go back and look at it, clean it up, and then move forward.
Jeff, you guys a couple times used Trevor in bootleg action. Did you see something with their hands and how they were crashing in and you guys pulled it out of the hat?
Yeah, and I think, Trevor's really good when you can get him on the move. And I just think, as part of kind of that cat and mouse that we're talking about when they're trying to take away the runs, they're really trying to squeeze and on some of your zone reads, trying to make Trevor pull it and give him a pull read. And so, if we can have some things where we can move him and take advantage of that and get him out there on the perimeter, and I think he does very well rolling out. And again, it's just some misdirection to go with some of our running game. And that's how some of these games are. You just gotta stay at it. And I tip my hat to their defensive staff. They got good players and a good scheme over there. We knew it was going to be difficult, and wish we could have made just a couple more plays, really put it away earlier than we did. But there's no doubt Trevor's talented outside the pocket as well.
We'll go last one here, then we'll go to the players.
Coach, after 4 convincing wins in a row, does it almost serve this team well to have a kind of slugfest where everything didn't come as easy as that?
I think each game is different, right? We knew coming into this one there weren't any secrets that this is going to be a tough test for us on the road. I'm probably most impressed by the way our guys embraced it. They came out in pregame warm-ups. There was a lot of energy. There was not that's things you're looking for as a coach, kind of see how your guys responded. And I think the mindset, we talked about having a championship mindset, and our guys did that today. And each game's different. I think this is a good one for us. Kind of get challenged a little bit. You never know till you get put in that situation. We were in that situation a little bit different versus Syracuse, but Trevor wasn't on the field, so this was his opportunity to be on the field and be able to be calm under pressure and lead this team and do what we needed to do to get that victory.
All right, thank you, gentlemen.